Class 10, class 8 students, you can leave the session. Your period is cancelled. Okay. Class 8 children. Okay. So we discussed a database management system in the previous class, and we have some practical session also based on that RDBMS. Okay, I will explain that practical section after all the theory classes. Okay, so we will start another chapter. It is communication skill. I think that chapter is already started with Danyama, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so all of you switch on the video. So it is chapter 1, it is communication skills. Okay. So what is communication?
And that chapter finished.
Completed. Is it completed, Raya?
And we reached up to that there are 3 types of relations which will be created. One to one.
That is in that last chapter, 8th chapter, that is based on RDBMS. I'm starting with the new chapter, that is communication skill. Okay. Anjali, which is the last topic discussed in this chapter?
Yes, ma'am. One-to-one relationship.
That is in that RDBMS chapter, no? I'm asking about the first chapter that Danya ma'am already taken some topics from that chapter.
Ma'am, communication. Ma'am.
Yes, yes. According to that communication skill, which are the topics discussed?
Ma'am, speaking signal.
Speaking skill.
Yes,
Writing
ma'am,
skill,
I'm
speaking skill, just like that.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So we'll start from the, just revise the topic, that is, what is communication? Communication means it is the exchange of information by signs and signals, speaking, writing, or using some other methods or mediums. Mediums or means is called communication. Okay. So exchange of information is called communication. Learning objectives of effective communications are sending, receiving, and understanding the message or information. Then development of interpersonal skills and to express effectively with maximum efficiency. So these are the objectives based on the communication. Communication means exchange of information. We can send and receive and understand the message using this communication, and development of interpersonal skill. For that also we are using this communication to express effectively with maximum efficiency. We can express our ideas and our theories effectively using this communication. Okay, there is no need of writing this one. Then next is communication cycle. I think this is also explained.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So for communication cycle, a center is the message is there, encoding, channel, receiver, recording, then feedback and noise. These are the main topics related with communication cycle. You just write this heading only. Okay, just write. Already it is discussed. So you just write these headings: sender, message, encoding, channel, receiver, decoding, feedback, and noise. These are the terms under this communication cycle. All of you switch on the video. There is no need of writing this explanation. You just write the names. Sender, message, encoding, channel, receiver, decoding, feedback, and noise. Okay.
And that we need to write sender. Ma'am.
Okay. Write it fast. Sender, message, encoding, channel, receiver, decoding, feedback, and noise are the terms related with communication cycle.
And we need to write the definition of that.
No
All
need.
definition. Okay.
You just write this heading. The definition is already discussed. Isn't it? Sender means the person or entity, that is who is sending the message, that is sender. Message, the information, which information that the sender sent, that is message. Encoding, how the sender chooses to bring the message into a form appropriate for sending the message. Then channel, which medium is used for sending that particular message. Then receiver, the person who received the message. Then decoding, how the receiver accept that message or understand that message. Then last one, it is feedback, the receiver's response to the message. Is there any error is there, or is there any noise is there, just like that. Okay. The noise means it is the disturbance along with that message. Okay, completed, Fizan?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So next topic, it is feedback. Feedbacks are in the form of result, or in the form of advice, or in the form of comment. Any type of feedback we can use. Okay. In the case of your examination, the feedback is based on your result. Okay. So in the case of a TV program, the feedback is based on one rating. Just like that. Okay. Feedback are different types of feedbacks. That is response, opinion, survey, comment, rating, result, advice, idea, just like that. Okay. There is no need of writing this feedback. So you want to just point out this different types of feedback. Okay. Types of feedback. Feedback plays an important part in communication because it tells both the source and the receiver how their messages are being interpreted. That is feedback. Feedback means tells the receiver or sender about the source and about the message. Okay. There are mainly three types of feedback. First one, it is the specific feedback. Specific feedback provides detailed or specific information on where the student did well or not so well. That is specific feedback means about you, each and every student. About the specific feedback means a teacher will talk about every student according to their mark. That is an example for specific feedback. Okay, I like the ending, but after reading a book, I'm giving a specific feedback. Example, it is, I like the ending. It was different than I expected. That is a specific feedback. After reading one book, I will give a specific feedback. Means, I like the ending. It was different than I expected. That is a detailed feedback or specific feedback.
And we need to write this all definitions.
No, you want to write these red points, red big points. Okay.
Only
So,
that name.
ah, so specific feedback, it is the detailed or specific information about the message. If it is based on a student, it will the teacher will explain about the student, is she did the exam well or not, just like that. Okay, based on the result. Then non-specific means it is a feedback just like it's a good job or it is not a good job, just like that. Okay, there is no explanation about the message or information. It is just a non-specific feedback. Then descriptive feedback means it is specific information in the form of written comments or verbal conversation that help the learner understand what she or he needs to improve. It is the detailed explanation of a person's message or information. What the points needed to improve their message or their communication. How we can improve their message. For that, we are giving a descriptive feedback. That is, as a specific information in the form of written comments or verbal conversation. We can write the feedback either in the form of a written letter or we can give using oral explanation. That help the learner to understand the negative and positive points to improve their communication or improve their own. Descriptive feedback is the most powerful feedback. Completed.
Definition read.
No. You just write this types. That is, first type it is specific. Second, it is non-specific. Third, it is descriptive feedback, and also include the point. This descriptive is the most powerful tool. Among these three, descriptive feedback is the most powerful tool. Okay. Completed? Adulya?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the next topic it is what are the 7 C's of communication? 7 C's based on communication. Write the heading. What are the 7 C's of communication? What are the 7 C's? C. 7 C's. First one, be clear. Clarity in communication is always makes a better communication. Your communication must be very clear. That is the first C, it is clear. Here you just write all these points, okay? That is very important. 7 C's. Be clear. Clarity in communication is always makes a better communication. And second point, it is be concise. Always make the message brief and to the point. Okay. Write the message in a short form or it is always in a brief format based on the correct point. That is, be concise. All these points are there in your textbook. If you have textbook, there is no need of writing the points. I will just give the note also. Okay. Just write these points. So the second point, it is concise, always makes the message brief and to the point. And second one, it is be concrete. Concrete communication is about being specific and clear. That is, when we are using this clear and concise, the message or communication become concrete. That is, concrete communication is about being specific and clear. Communication is always clear and specific. That is known as concrete. Then be correct. Always try to communicate the correct message, because an incorrect message doesn't help anyone. So give a correct message at the time of communication. Then be coherent. The message always have some sense and flowed logically from one sentence to the next. When we write a message, write in a proper order. That is coherent. Write the message in a proper order. That is coherent. Flowed logically means step by step writing. One sentence to the next sentence, there is a logic connection between the first sentence to second sentence. After the second to third, there is a connection, just like that. Okay, that is be coherent. There is a relation between the first sentence and second sentence. Then only our communication is good. Then be complete. That is, the message must contain all necessary information to achieve the desired response. That is, you must write the message in a complete way. Be complete. That is the sixth one. Last one, it is courteous. Be courteous. That is, always try to be polite. When we write a message, write the message in a polite way. That is the seventh point. Okay. So when we give a message to one person, these are the 7 C's. We want to take care of these 7 C's: clear, concise, concrete, correct, coherent, complete, and courteous. Then the next thing it is physical barriers. Physical barriers. Or first you write the heading, different barriers. Write the heading. After that, you can write that points. Barriers to communication. Write the heading, barriers to communication. That is, which are the blocks related with communication. Which are the main blocks or difficulties based on communication? That is barriers. Barriers of communication. Write the heading, barriers of communication. The first one, it is physical barriers. Physical barriers. Physical barrier is the environmental and natural condition that act as a barrier in communication. That is, if at the time of raining there is a difference, there is a problem related with our communication when we call some at the time of phone call or just something like that. Okay, so that is physical barriers. Physical barriers is the environmental and natural condition that act as a barrier in communication. Environmental or natural condition. So physical barrier means it is the environmental and natural difficulties that act as a barrier in communication. When there is a difficulty in communication based on environmental and natural condition, it is known as physical barriers. For example, text messages are often less effective than face-to-face communication. The next one, it is linguistic barriers or language barriers. Linguistic barriers or language barriers? The inability to communicate using a language is known as language barriers. That is, in some when we are using some slangs in Malayalam or Hindi, when we are using some slangs in our language, it is not understandable by other persons. That is language barriers or linguistic barriers.
And we need to write this pointers or
Just write these points also. That is headings. There is no need of writing the explanation. This is only based on employability, that is part A chapters. Okay. Not an important chapter. So, language barriers or linguistic barriers means the inability to communicate using a language is known as a language barrier to communication. For example, slangs, professional jargon, and regional colloquial can make communication difficulties. If we are using some words in our language, it is not understandable by other persons. That is linguistic barriers or language barriers. Then gender barriers. Variation exists even among masculine and feminine style of communication. When a girl is communicating, then there are some variations compared to boys. That is gender barriers. Variation exists even among masculine and feminine style of communication. Attitudinal barriers are negative perceptions and value system that focuses on a person with disability rather than ability. When we are talking about negative points related to a person or related to a message, that is attitudinal barriers. If you are talking about the disability rather than ability, that is attitudinal barriers. If you are talking negative points rather than positive points, that is attitudinal barriers. Then second last one, it is perceptual. Every person has its own perception for the world, and it does result in difference of views of each and every individual. Perception means each person has its own view about a point. That is perceptual barrier. Each and every person has its own her own views about a point, about a picture, about a book. That is perceptual barrier. The next one, it is emotional. Emotions like fear, anger, etc. Emotions like fear, anger, etc. These are emotional barriers. Barriers means blocks. Okay. Then cultural. Cultural barriers are religious and social differences often create misunderstandings during communication. Religious differences or social differences often create misunderstanding during communication. So these are the different barriers among this communication. Then how we can overcome this? Measures to overcome communication barriers. Measures to overcome communication barriers. We can discuss all the MCQ questions based on this chapter after completing the chapter. Okay. Then you can understand how we can write, how the questions are coming according to this chapter. Okay.
and this we can write now this full.
You just write the 6 points. Engage yourself in face-to-face interaction, because face-to-face communication is the better interaction method or communication method. So engage yourself in face-to-face interaction. So for reducing the blocks among this communication, engage yourself in face-to-face interaction, reduce or eliminate distractions around, that is the disturbance around. You just reduce or eliminate the disturbances around. Try to access the needs of the receiver. Understand the needs of the receiver. Then only we can communicate effectively with the receiver. Improve upon your active listening. We can improve communication by listening carefully. Then soften your tone and language. You just soften your tone when we are communicating with others. Then encourage feedback. You encourage feedback to improve your communication. Okay, these are the measures to overcome communication barriers. Completed?
1 minute.
Okay. So next it is writing skills. What is a sentence? All these things are you already completed in your English grammar. So I will just explain what is a sentence. A set of words that is complete in itself, typically containing a subject and predicate, conveying a statement, question, exclamation, or command, and consisting of a main clause and sometimes one or more subordinate clauses. That is a sentence. A sentence is a set of words that is complete in itself, typically containing a subject and predicate, conveying a statement, question, exclamation, or command, and consisting of a main clause and sometimes one or more subordinate clauses. There are mainly 4 types of sentences: declarative sentence, interrogative sentence, exclamatory sentence, and imperative sentence. What is declarative sentence? Tell something, ends with a period. That is, end with a dot or full stop. Declarative sentence, end with a full stop. Then interrogative sentence, ask a question. That is, ends with a question mark is an example for interrogative sentence. Just copy this one. Okay. Exclamatory sentence, the sentence ends with exclamation mark. Shows strong feelings. Sentence ends with an exclamation mark. Imperative sentence, give a command. That is, ends with dot or exclamation. Dot is known as period or an exclamation mark. So there are 4 types of sentences: declarative sentence, interrogative sentence, exclamatory sentence, and imperative sentence.
And when you try this,
This you want to write. These 4 types.
then definition will write no definition.
No, There is no need of writing the definition.
Okay.
Angelo, IT textbook is there with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you get this chapter?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you just mark these points in your textbook, okay? Four types of sentences: declarative sentence, interrogative sentence, exclamatory sentence, and imperative sentence. Melita completed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So the next topic it is parts of sentence. That is, we already explained the definition. A sentence is a group of words that gives a complete meaning, thought, or idea. A sentence has the following three parts. Which are the three parts? That is subject, predicate, and object. A sentence is a group of words that give a complete meaning, thought, or idea. A sentence has the following three parts: subject, predicate, and object. Subject means is a noun or pronoun used in a sentence. You just write the example. Here, he is the subject.
One
He is
example.
write the heading and write the example. He, only one example. He is eating an apple. Here, he is the subject. The first part, it is subject. Example for subject, it is he, she, they, David. All these are examples of subject. Then next it is object. Unlike the subject who does some work, the object is the thing on which some work is being done. You just write the heading object and write this sentence, and this apple is the object. It can be a noun on which some work is being done in the sentence. The subject is the actor of the sentence who adds upon the object. Object is the second part. Example for object in this sentence: he is eating an apple. The object is apple. The last part, it is predicate. She will buy a camera. Here, will buy a camera is the predicate. A predicate is the part of the sentence other than the subject. So, other than the subject. Here, subject is she. So, other than the subject, it is will buy a camera. So, this will buy a camera is the predicate. In this sentence, subject is he. So, other than subject, that is broke the cup. So, broke the cup is the predicate. There is no need of writing this explanation. You just write this example and underline this and just mark it as predicate. Okay. Second. Then you just write parts of speech. First one, it is noun, then pronoun, adjectives, verb, preposition, conjunction, interjunction, article. These are the different parts of speech. Noun, pronoun, adjectives, verb, preposition, conjunction, interjection, and article. ARI, ARTICLE. Okay.
Noun, pronoun, interjunction,
Article. You just write the example for noun. It is a name. That is Jane, dog. These are examples. Then I, it, dumb. Pronoun example. For adjective, it is small, blue. Then verb, it is run, jump. Then preposition, it is on, under, over. Then for conjunction, it is and, or, because, just like that. Then interjection, it is wow. Then great with exclamation mark. Wow, exclamation mark, great exclamation mark, just like that. Article, it is a, and, the, just like that. Okay. So you just study all these parts of speech with example. Okay. I think you already learned all these topics in grammar section. Okay. Noun means it is name. Example, Jane, dog, just like that. Pronoun, I, it, dumb. All these are examples for pronoun. Adjectives are small. That is, a ball is very small. Then in that sentence, that small is the adjective. That flower is in blue color. So blue is an example for adjectives. Then verb like run, jump, just like that. Okay. Then preposition on, under, over. These are examples of position. Conjunction and, or, because. To connect two sentences, we are using two words or two sentences. We are using this conjunction, that is and, or, because. Interjection, wow, exclamation. Oh, oh my, oh my. Then another example. Conjunction always end with one exclamation mark. Then article, it is a, and, the. All are articles. Then Two more topic is the with this chapter, a small chapter. You can complete that chapter in the next class. Okay. Let's wind up the session. Thank you, children. Just go through the points. Okay. Bye.
Ma'am,
1 second. I want to take the attendance. What we said?
I said thank you.
Yes, yes. Angelo, Angelo, Anjali, Raya, Swati, Hiba, Kisan, Sania, Tulya, Gauri, Melita, Lena. So, okay, thank you, children. You can leave. Bye.
Thank you.